I am Kit, and this is me 34 weeks on low-dose testosterone and finasteride. There again seem to have been no changes of note this week. I do seem to be in cruising mode for about the last month and a half or so. My voice, I have recorded. I am recording it in the evenings now. I checked it the evening after my last video, and then last night I did check it this morning too, but it was about the same place as last night, so I don't know what that means, but it does seem to be higher than, my deepest points, but it's still on the bottom of what it says is the androgynous range. I'm not buying it yet, but I may be biased towards my own voice because, I've been hearing it so long, and it's when people are transitioning, they sometimes, don't trust the changes that they're seeing and hearing until other people say, yeah, I'm seeing that too. I'm hearing that too. So what that's worth. Other than that, my facial shape, I haven't checked it, but I only do that about once a month. My body change, I didn't measure this week. My muscle mass, I didn't particularly test this week. My finasteride still inhibiting the changes it's supposed to. My acne has couple pimples, nothing to write home about. My skin, the oily thickness, the veins. I had someone comment on my hands. They said, you have man hands now. And I'm like, I'm not sure how I feel about that. And why are you commenting on my hands is the first thing you say when you see me. Okay, body scent hasn't changed, sex drive hasn't changed, mood has been stable, social dysphoria hasn't particularly bothered me this week, body dysphoria hasn't particularly bothered me this week. It's been a pretty steady week in all things concerned. The life updates then would be that I have a little niece on the way in about 20 weeks, maybe a little less than that. And I was talking with my sister about my role in this baby's life, and she was saying that she'd like me to be sort of a guardian figure for the baby. It's really exciting for me because my other two nieces live out of state, and this is going to be the first time I can really have like this really active role in this baby's life. And it makes me really excited to think about what kind of relationship I could have with this child as she gets older, and how I might be able to help her with things or be a safety net that if she's uncomfortable going to her parents about something, she could come to me about something. And anyway, the idea is really exciting for me. So it got me thinking, I've had this goal for like the last 6 years at least to learn knitting. And I've, never had a real reason to, but I'm like, hey, baby blanket, let's learn knitting. And like, I tried, I learned this much. And then I'm like, why doesn't that actually look like knitting? And it turns out when you knit, you're supposed to do one row of knit and one row of purl. I've just been doing, 50 rows of knit. So it's not coming out as what a knit's supposed to look like. So each color is going to have a different pattern as I practice the different types of stitching. The baby blanket's just going to be like a mishmash of, hey, this is what your person did when they wanted to give you something. They just sort of taught themselves, and it's kind of a mess in a little places, but that's sort of how it goes. As for being her person, we did decide that we're going to use Kit as my title and as my name. Kit isn't my given name, and I still do go by my given name and my chosen name in real life situations. So I'm going to be the baby's kit. And I've passed this along to my other sister and the little ones, and we're going to test this out and see how this goes. It's challenging being non-binary when you don't have that kind of gender neutral language, and everyone in the community is just sort of making it up as we go and finding what works for each person individually, and then coming back and saying, oh yeah, I use this term or that term. The other thing of note this week is that I had my doctor appointment, a 6-month follow-up from the last time when I got my triglyceride levels that I was really concerned about. It's been 6 months since then, and I've, been actively trying to lose some weight and get healthier. And when I went into the doctor's office, they weighed me, and I'm down 15 pounds. I don't know how that translates into body fat loss, because I did gain muscle mass in that time. And as muscle weighs more than fat, I've probably lost more than 15 pounds of body fat. The doctor is still encouraging me to lose more. We'll see how that goes. I am trying to slowly, but I'm pretty happy with where I am at the moment. My blood pressure was another thing to get really excited about. Last time I went in, it was 130/80, which was actually pretty high for me. I'm pretty familiar with what my BP is usually supposed to be. And this time when I went in, it was 110/70, which is much more where it's supposed to be, and much more, makes me much more comfortable. So those are just the little life updates. I guess I could note that I went into the courthouse to try to set a trial for my ticket, and the cop hadn't turned in my ticket yet, so that's on hold until he gets around to turning it in, or if he doesn't turn it in, they'll just drop it. So that, at least that stress is just sort of went into the background for now, going, oh, well, I can't do anything about it, so I guess we'll just wait. So that's all for this week, and I will talk to you again next week with my weekly update and my 8-month update.